This is going to be the new meta 4-3-3, a tactic that went invincible, won the treble, and also scored over 3.5 goals every single game. It's an absolute banger. Be sure to smash the like button. Let's get into it. So as again, guys, this is going to be for PC, console, and mobile, so be sure to stay around. And this is going to be the tactic. So with Real Madrid, we enjoyed a flawless season. 33 wins, 5 draws, and 0 losses. Won the Champions League against a strong Feyenoord team, and a 5-1 win in that final. Also picking up the Spanish Cup. Unfortunately, Diego Simeone had a little bit of a masterclass against me and knocked me out in the semi-finals, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, we absolutely dominated the stat lines here. Player stats, average rating, assists as well, having an absolute field day over in Spain. If we go over to the stats, it's really going to be in our favour. Most points per game at 2.74. Most goals at 138. The most shots at 1 off 750. The fewest shots against at 160. Most dribbles being made. Now, defensively, we were good. Not as good as Barcelona, but who won 3 trophies? That's a very good question. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, Barcelona did have a decent season, but really we took that bar from here and put it up here with this new meta 4-3-3. And going over to the data hub, it is going to be 3.63 goals every single game, only 0.66 conceded, 19 shots every single game, an 88% pass completion, and a tackle win ratio of 77.8. Champions League final against a very strong Feyenoord team, which by the way did get off to a very good start here with a little bit of luck with Jude Bellingham giving it away very unluckily there. They go 1-0 up inside of 20 minutes. I switched to the attacking variant, which is why the importance of getting all 3, because then we just completely take over the game. Luka Modric has a little bit of luck there, potentially come off a player. In fact, it did come off a player. And we actually go into half-time 2-1 up, so a complete 360 in this game right now as Vinicius goes through and tucks it right into the bottom-hand corner against Bilal. Obviously a fantastic keeper. But then what Fran Garcia, on the left-hand side is going to cut it back into Camavinga, into Vinicius again, who this guy, when he gets scoring, he simply doesn't stop. Vasquez back post out into Camavinga is going to touch it down, drive it back in cross with the broken low crosses into Vinicius Jr. again, who already has his hat-trick, absolutely living life. And a last-minute penalty from Alaba will take it. Now to a team predicted to finish 6th place. My main aim was to obviously try and win the league. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite get that done as PSG literally don't win a game, but what we did do is beat the likes of Marseille, Lyon, Monaco, Lens, Nice to that 2nd position, and it was a very comfortable position. So that's why I'm happy to obviously release this tactic, because I do believe with some signings, obviously we sign absolutely no one, you can easily take on PSG in a matter of a couple of seasons. The gap between us and 3rd is absolutely mental, so we did have a fantastic season, and as you can see here, Jonathan David having a really good season as well. 1 goal behind Kylian Mbappe. Now, if we actually look at some of the stats right now, it is going to be all dominated by PSG, but I will say we are pretty much second fiddle to a lot of these things, so it is still a really impressive season. Obviously, PSG are literally all the way up here, and it is something we can be proud of because there's something to build on. Obviously tied here with the most clean sheets. And going over to the data hub as well, you can tell it's going to be a great time because 0.68 conceded, 2.35 scored, so we're easily going to be very defensively solid, conceding way under a goal a game, and very confident going forwards, scoring over 2.3 goals every single match. Over 15 shots as well, a great pass completion, and a tackle win ratio just shy, and I mean just shy, of 77%. So a W season. To further back up my point against going against some of the biggest teams in this league, a 5-1 win here away against Monaco. Obviously a very strong team who got off to a very not so strong start. I'm a little bit unlucky from them. To give them credit though, they did try and get back into the game. As they do so, it's going to be Enrique, a fantastic fullback who catches my keeper off guard, I think, more than anything. No fans in the stadium. Shock and turnout. What's going on there? As it's going to be David down the left-hand side. Again, that low crosses, which, to put it bluntly, just works so well. It's really, really good in this game. And from this point onwards, we sort of just got a grip of the game, and David is absolutely incredible. The keeper made literally the striker's mind up there for him as well. It's a bit of an easier goal there. And now we are going to be into the second half, playing out from the back, a long ball over the top. The Monaco defence has fallen asleep. And again, at this point, we're 4-1 up. And I thought, do you know what? Maybe that's it. One more goal to come to obviously wrap up the 5. Just a solo run and an even better finish. And to be honest, going over the game here, you can see the players they have. A very good-looking team. We more than deserved this win, so we didn't even get lucky. It was a full-on deserved win. Lastly, it is going to be Cartagena, obviously in the Spanish 2nd Division, a team predicted to finish 15th. We've got to scroll down to see that. That is where Ibar did actually finish. And again, yes, we did pick up a fair few losses, coming in with 7, but we absolutely dominated the league. We really, really did, with 94 points compared to 2nd place in 79. This was actually really close between the rest of the teams. We had a complete whale of a time, is what I'm trying to say. We absolutely took over the Spanish 2nd Division, and if we look here as well in terms of the stats, not the highest goal scorer officially, but we are going to be joint first, highest on the average rating, and also in 3rd place. And if we go over to for example, the team stats, this is where we are going to come in. So as you can see right now, we're going to have the most points per game, the most goals as well. Now, to be fair, Espanyol usually score a ridiculous amount of goals. So to be ahead of them really does speak levels for how good we really were. Fewest conceded, second place, but very, very close to being in first place as well. Possession-wise, it is going to be a fifth place finish. Again, I wouldn't say this is really based around having high levels of possession. It's very fast-paced, very aggressive, in-your-face football, which will get the job done. So as a general rule, I am absolutely thrilled with how this has gone across all tests. I mean, 2.49 goals per game, just over a goal conceded, which is to be expected. Obviously, with a team like this where you are predicted so low down, again, I can't stress it enough, 0 signers. I don't even sign additional staff members. I literally sim and play with what I have given to me, as you would at home. An 88% pass completion and just over 13 shots every single game. So this tactic, for those of you that like to play fast-paced football, love a 4-3-3, a bit of wing play as well, you know, this is really the ideal one for you. It's really, really good. Just a little bit of fun to watch some goals at the end of the day. It is going to be a 5-0 win in the league with this incredible team. Well, the tactic made it incredible, not the team individually's quality. Just the way we got playing, even with a team of this caliber, speaks how good this tactic can perform with all levels of teams in this game. As we're playing it around for fun on the edge and finally have a crack, and it sums up the goalkeeping quality in this league. Probably not the best, to be honest, as now it is going to be a set piece, and there's nothing wrong with that. No luck involved at all. A fantastic ball in and a fantastic connection with that header. As now, again, beautiful pass, and yes, a little bit lucky there with the ball getting through, and maybe the goalkeeper, if he didn't move at the speed of about 1 mile an hour, he could have saved it, but we got the job done. It's a very convincing win, no complaints. So over to your favourite part of the video. If you are enjoying so far, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are pushing for 20k. We are almost there. Also, if you are interested in joining the other 2,600 people, you can come over and sign up to the Patreon in the description below, where there are over 12 perks for you guys. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. You get access to all 3 of these tactic variants today. You get the mobile version and the console version. You get priority in the tactic and the rebuild requests. You get one-on-one tactical help. I tweak your tactics as well, help you out in general, and also you get enrolled to that Patreon giveaway, which at the moment is £100 PayPal. So not too shabby for a very small entrance fee. So even if you're not interested in Football Manager, it could be a little nice turnaround. But let's go over and talk about this new meta 4-3-3. So the goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper, simply coming in on the support of instruction. Nothing too special. I rarely find the need to really tweak it from the default with goalkeepers. The inverted wingback comes in on support on the default instructions. Again, didn't need to go over the top with this role because he does have 4 as of you know, the natural role provides him. On the left-hand side, we are going to have a little change. It's going to be an inverted wingback on support, but on the left, we are going to have him on tackle harder additionally, alongside of the 4 default. A ball-playing defender on the left-hand side is going to be set to shoot less often and also tackle harder, and that's exactly going to be the same case for the right-hand side. So it's a mixture of the back 4, obviously both centre-backs being the same, and a minor tweak to one of the inverted wing-backs. The midfielders are going to consist of a ball-winning midfield player on support, simply on Mark Tighter, match with a box-to-box on the left of him, just a little bit up on support, on take more risks, move into channels, and tackle harder. The perfect role in any 4-3-3 because he is obviously going to attack, but also he's going to come back and do his defensive attributes as well. Now, on PC, a little bit different on console, a central midfield player on attack is a lot better than a Mazzala in my opinion, on close down more and also tackle harder, and on the right is going to be a winger on attack, on cut inside and also tackle harder, alongside of these other custom or default instructions. On the left-hand side is going to be the inside forwards on attack, on shoot more often, and sit narrower. You know the rules. Sorry to sound like that, but if your player has got over 12 finishing, then you can obviously have this on. If he hasn't, if he's got like 7 finishing, 9 finishing, do not have shoot more often on. It's going to be an absolute disaster for you. And up front is going to be the advanced forward on attack, on dribble less, but shoot more often. So get your bagsman getting the goals. To the team instructions. They're all based off the custom gegenpress on the positive mentality. So gegenpress on the positive. We're going to leave this blank. We're going to go pass into space, underlap left and underlap right. Really got those inverted options doing the old, you know, doing one of them ones. It works really, really well. Playing out from the back is going to be key with the shorter passing directness and also the higher tempo. It is a meta tactic, so we are going to use the things which really do exploit the match engine, to be honest with you. We're going to be more expressive and we are going to go with work ball into the box. Now with this one, I usually do favour low crosses all the time, but as you saw from the highlights, we benefit from having a bit of a mixture in this way, so we're going to go with mixed on this one. And transition is going to be counter press, counter, distribute quickly, play to anyone across the back line, and we've actually not got a preference on the distribution type. Lastly, out of possession, it has changed from the much higher defensive line from the previous meta series. It is going to be the standard line, the high press and line of engagement. We are going to select much more often when it comes to the press. Of course, we're going to apply pressure on the keeper, and of course, we're going to get stuck in. That usually works for every tactic, and with this one, it definitely did. Now, over to the attacking variant, we are going to go right into it. It is going to be a sweeper keeper, simply on support. The inverted wingback is now going to be on get further forwards on the right-hand right-hand side, and the left-hand side is going to be exactly the same. Add one instruction, get further forwards, alongside of the tackle harder. Now, both of the ball-playing defenders do remain exactly the same because I don't need them getting attacking as well. They already do enough. I don't want them having loads of shots at goal, so keep them exactly the same. We then introduce a deep-lying playmaker on support who comes in simply on mark tighter. The box-to-box has a load of instructions now. Take more risks, dribble more, get further forwards, move into channels, and also tackle harder. The central midfield player has them 4 instructions again, of roam from position, move into channels, close down more, and also tackle harder. A very good role in the team because he will literally roam about and almost do like the box-to-box is going to do. He is going to get forwards but also hold that midfield area. It works really, really well, especially in his match engine. On the right-hand side is going to be a winger on attack, on cut inside, and also tackle harder. And on the left is going to be the inside forward, on shoot more often, and also sit narrower. Whereas the striker, as the front three do entirely, remain simply unchanged because we don't really need to make them any more attacking. Team instructions, again, the gegenpress, but this time attacking. We're going to go with fairly wide, pass into space, underlap left, underlap right, play out from the back, shorter, higher tempo, be more expressive, work ball into the box, and mix crosses. Again, this is going to be very, very attacking, but it's perfect if you are trying to grab a goal in the game desperately. The transition is going to be counter press, counter, distribute quickly, play into anyone across the back line, just as in the default. And out of possession, this is where things get really crazy. The much higher defensive line, the high pressure line of engagement, get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and much more often. Now, this is if you are desperate for a goal. If you're like semi-desperate, as in you've got a little bit of time to play with, I would go down to the higher defensive line. But if we're talking backs against the wall, you need to get a goal. Do not be afraid to use the much higher defensive line. Trust me. Out for a more defensive one, or if you are playing as like a Luton or a Nottingham Forest, a very small team in the relative league, the goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper, simply on the default. The inverted wingback is going to be on support on the right and also the left-hand side, so literally identical. Both of the ball-playing defenders are also going to be set to complete default, so that is going to complete a default back four. No, I've not made any mistakes. It's just this way, it's very risk-free, and nothing is going to be too overcomplicated in what is meant to be quite a basic system. Midfield now consists of a defensive ball and midfield player on defend, on mark tighter, a box-to-box on the default, so he's not going to be as aggressive going forwards. We also introduce a Carrillo into the system, again, simply on support in this team. On the right-hand side is going to be a default winger on support, and on the left, a default inside forward. And you guessed it, up top, a default advanced forward. Now, I will say there is nothing wrong with playing with the default roles. I often do this in a more defensive structured tactic because it means you're not going to overcomplicate any of the system, and it just works really, really well. It's basic, gets the job done, nothing flashy, of course, but it will get you points and it will get you their much needed wins or draws. Team instructions, again, the gegenpress, but on the balanced mentality, we are going to go with standard, pass into space, underlap left, underlap right, much shorter when it comes to the passing. So tempo does take a bit of a hit, go down to slightly higher, so not as aggressive on your players. Dribble less, which obviously partner with much shorter, means you are going to have a lot more possession, maybe not as many goals being scored, but a lot more of the ball, more of a control element of the game. Work ball into the box and also mix crosses. Transition is going to be counter press, counter, play into anyone across the back line while taking short goal kicks. I have added on that distribution type to really eliminate any risks. And lastly, it is going to be the standard line with a mid-block line of engagement much more often and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. I will say, if you are playing as a real low-down team, as in your squad is tiny, you could consider lowering this trigger press to sort of around this, and maybe in possession, you could even lower it to this if you've got hardly any squad. But if you can, do stick to what you see in the tactic videos, because obviously all the testing is done the way in which I show them. So that's going to be these ones, but obviously for the console and the mobile viewers, the video's just begun. Both are on console. I wanted to spice things up. I love the Bundesliga, and I thought, do you know what? Let's just see what we can do with Borussia Dortmund. Can we actually manage a miracle and win the league? Which we did do, beating Bayern in the first season, again, with 0 signings. It wasn't the best display in the Pokal, a decent display in the Champions League. We absolutely aced the group. Unfortunately, Man City were a little bit too much for us to deal with in terms of a quarter-final. A very unlucky draw in that scenario. Going over to the data hub, it is going to be 2 goals a game, over 12 shots, and 86% pass completion, way under a goal conceded. So again, very similar to obviously the 4-2-3-1. We've absolutely hit the nail on the head on the console as well. I do want to quickly say, console players, console viewers, do you want to see match highlights? Let me know in the comments if you do. And I will say on mobile as well, we did an absolute stellar job. It does look very different on mobile because certain things don't work like they do on console and also on PC. We win obviously the French Cup against Rennes, quite a tough game there, but obviously get over the line. But also we do win the league, unfortunately the Champions League and the Trophy de Champion. The Trophy de Champion, we got robbed. We got absolutely done over. We battered the team, just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net at the end of the day. But the French league was absolutely ridiculous. We only lost one game, completely took over. Mbappe, I mean, this guy is nuts across all platforms. 46 goals, Vitinha with 21 assists. Also, Emery picking up a 7.75 when it comes to the highest average rating. And I will say right now, obviously, if you do want to get these tactics, these are Patreon exclusives. That's not to be awkward. It's just because obviously I do have to go out there and play free versions of FM to provide these tactics. So if you are interested in getting a mobile and the console, you can do so by checking out the Patreon in the description below, where loads of guys have already done it, because trust me, there's going to be an absolute load of them. So if you're a mobile player or a console player, or you want free variants on the PC, you get the whole package all in one tier. It's absolutely incredible. And if you guys have enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. See you in the next one, boys. Have a great day.